Good morning. I welcome you all for this wonderful session. I am going to handle the subject ME8501 Metrology and Measurements. In Metrology and Measurement, the first unit contains basics of metrology. Basics of metrology is nothing but we should know about the fundamentals of the metrology and measurements. In the first unit, we are going to discuss various topics. The first one is Introduction to Metrology. Introduction to Metrology is nothing but what is meant by metrology and what is meant by measurement. Then what are the need of metrology and elements of metrology. Then what is the use of workpiece, instruments, persons, environment in the metrology and measurements. Then what is meant by precision and accuracy. Then what is meant by error. How we are going to find out the error in measurement. What are the types of errors. These are things we are going to study. Then what is meant by control and what is meant by standard and what are the types of standards. These are the entire thing we are going to study in the basics of metrology, and these things how we are going to use in the industry purpose. These are things we are going to study in the basics of metrology. Okay, what is my course outcome? Course outcome is nothing but by the end of this unit, what are the things we learned from this first unit? Here in first unit, we are discussed about the standards of measurements, limits, fits and tolerances in the usage of industrial applications.
Today we are going to discuss about the topic is elements of generalized measurement system. Here in generalized measurement system there are 6 elements are there. One is primary sensing element. The second one is variable conversion element, then variable manipulation element, data transmission element, data processing element, and data presentation element. Once again I am telling primary sensing element, variable conversion element, variable manipulation element, data transmission element, data processing element, and data presentation element. Here, what is the use of this generalized measurement system or elements of generalized measurement system? Here, this elements of generalized measurement system is normally used to find out the measurement for the particular element or any object. Here the first one is physical variable to be measured. Physical variable to be measured. Physical variable to be measured is nothing but the element we are going to be find the measurement. Physical variable to be measured is nothing but the element which we are going to find out the measurement. This element which gives the input signal to the primary sensing element. This element which we are going to be measured is giving the input signal to the primary sensing element. This primary sensing element which receives the input signal from the measuring element, or the variable which we are going to be measured, it receives the input signal and convert it into the required form. The required form may be into mechanical energy or electrical energy or any other form. It sends the input signal and convert it into a variable signal. Okay, then the second element is variable conversion element. Variable conversion element which receives the output of the primary sensing element and it converts the variable to the record form. It converts the variable to the record form. The next one is variable manipulation element. Variable manipulation element. This variable manipulation element receives the converted signal from the variable conversion element and manipulates, then amplifies the received signal. Amplify. What is meant by amplify? Amplify is nothing but the element which receives the lower input signal and convert it into the higher input signal. This amplified signal is nothing but the element which receives the lower input signal to the variable manipulation element, and it converts or modifies that signal to the higher output or higher amplified signal. Higher amplified signal. Okay, then what's the work of the transmission element? Data transmission element. This data transmission element receives the output of the variable manipulation element and transmits the data from one element to the other. This data transmission element is nothing but receives the output of the variable manipulation element and transfers the data from the manipulation element to the processing element. Manipulation element to the processing element. Okay, what's the work of the processing element? This processing element receives the data from the manipulation element or the transmitted element. This process which running or which measured the calculated output of the variable. This data processing element which receives the data of the data which is give the input from the variable to be measured, and it gets the data from the variable manipulation element, which means the higher amplified signal, and process the signal to release the output. Okay, then what is the data presentation element? Data presentation element is nothing but receives the output of the process signal and presented the signal in the human readable form. And finally the observer, which read the presentation elements output and notified that what are the variables that we are going to measure and find out the output. This is the elements of generalized measurement system. Okay, let's see. Generalized measurement system consists of the following common elements: primary sensing element, variable conversion element, variable manipulation element, data transmission element, data processing element, and data presentation element. Okay, what is my primary sensing element? It receives the signal of the quantity to be measured as input and it converts into a suitable form. It may be electrical, mechanical, or any other form that already said. Okay, what is my variable conversion element? Variable conversion element converts the output of the primary sensing element to a more suitable form. It is used only if necessary. Okay, what is my variable manipulation element? It manipulates and amplifies the output of the variable conversion element. It also removes the unwanted noise in the signal. Okay, next one is data transmission element. Data transmission element is nothing but it is used to transmitting data from one element to the another element. It is used to transmit the data from one element to the another element. It acts like a communication link between different elements of measurement system. Some of the data transmission elements used are cables, wireless and antenna, transducers and telemetry systems. Okay, next one is data processing element. It is an important element used in many measurement systems. It processes the data signal received from the variable manipulation element and produces the suitable output. And next one is data presentation element. It is used to present the measured physical quantity in a human readable form to the observer. It receives the process signal from data processing element and presents the data in a human readable form. LED displays are most commonly used as
data presentation element in many measurement systems.
Okay, the next topic is elements of metrology or measurement system. Okay, here metrology or measurement system is made of 5 elements. They are standard, workpiece, instrument, person and environment. Standard, workpiece, instrument, person and environment. Normally these 5 elements can be composed into the acronym called SWIPE. Okay, now what is meant by standard? It is a comparison value with a standard one. A physical quantity or property related to which quantitative comparison is made. It is nothing but the value which we find out and we compare with the standard value. That is means in a particular object we find out the value, find out the unknown value, and we compare that value with the known standard value. Then workpiece. Features of the workpiece to be measured. Workpiece is nothing but the object or element which we are going to be measured the physical quantities. That is called workpiece. Okay, what is meant by instrument? Instruments needed for measurement. Instruments needed for measurement is nothing but we are going to process the particular measuring or to find out the physical quantities on a workpiece. We need some instruments to measure that physical quantity on the workpiece. So for that purpose we are using instruments to find out the measuring instruments to find out the measurement. Okay, what is the next one? Person is nothing but here the skilled operator. Skilled operator is nothing but the operator or a person who is more knowledge about the elements of metrology or a measuring system. And the last one is environment. It is nothing but the condition or a place which the measurement is done. Environment is nothing but the condition or a place which we done the measurement, which we are going to done the measurement. Here the SWIPE is nothing but the basic elements of measurement is a standard with which one no measurement is possible. Once the standard is chosen, select a workpiece on which measurement will be performed, then select an instrument with the help of which measurement will be done. Then the measurement should be performed under standard environment. These are the components or elements of the metrology system or measurement system. So we call it as a SWIPE. And lastly, there must be some person or mechanism to carry out the measurement. This is called as SWIPE. Thank you.